Sup, dude? You're gonna need one of these. Cause it's time for Dudes After Dark. Let's go!
What's going on, everybody? Indeed, happy Friday night. We made it through another week of us regular 9-to-5ers, but guess what? It's time to kick off this weekend with the Dudes After Dark, and we got an absolute big one lined up for you. We're down to our good buddy Damon tonight, but first, let's get into our second co-host. As always, brought to you by Garage Beer. Drink Garage Beer. It's an all-dayer. It is delicious. And don't forget about our good friends, MST Sauce Company, available on TikTok Shop, mstsaucecompany.com, and a lot of retailers in the Northwest and Central Ohio areas. We love them. Any kind of purchase from them gets you into the giveaway, which we'll get into later tonight. But first, our West Coast friend out of the Californian that's been born again, the Sursterman slurping, living in the pool when it's 110 degree outside having. Doesn't like climbing towers because it's also 110 degrees. Doesn't like to do a whole lot right now because it's consistently 110 degrees. As Bad Religion would say, the hills of Los Angeles are literally burning. Our good friend, out of the great state of Turlock, California, John Z. What's up, dude? Oh,
that was my bad.
Nah, that's all right.
I already had the trigger
Good
finger.
Good start. Look at us. Look at us.
We're doing great.
Damon! Got it out of the way early.
Damon,
we are not well.
Oh.
Shout out to our good friend Damon, our head producer, and normally the things that make the wheels go round and round on this show.
Right.
But he's over having family time in the great state of Tennessee. Sure, he's getting some of that Memphis style barbecue, even though he's not on that side of the state, but maybe it trickles over. No, it doesn't. Nope. Something to say.
Nope.
And
we're
number
backtracking.
2.
We're backtracking.
All right, we need one more. We got 2. We need 3.
Okay.
I was hoping we didn't get to 2 so quick, but here we are. So real excited about our show tonight. We have we horse around. We have a good time on here, and probably we'll have a little bit of that tonight as well. But really just excited about the opportunity we have tonight to have 2 unbelievably awesome viewpoints of leadership, kind of throw in love, coaching, mentoring, letting other people live vicariously through you, always responsible of being a positive beacon, role model, and even sometimes disciplinarian. First guest we got here in the back room coming on, we'll bring him on a second. Head football coach of Walsh University, John Fankhauser, good friend of the show. It's been a while. Season's coming up here soon. Really excited to get his excitement here about the team coming up, but also what it's like being a football coach of young adult men. And, as the old say, going to college as a freshman and boy, come out as senior as a man. So this guy's responsible for some heavy lifting along the way. So that'll be a fun one.
A lot of years.
A lot of years. And then also to wrap things up here, we have Cleveland Guardians have a talented rookie, Daniel Schneeman, and tied for the best record in the American League. His parents are coming on to join us. This will be a Dude Network first, having that point of view. So we're going to talk about their mentorship and guidance of raising a young athlete that was trying to become, also a pro athlete. First, I know this is awesome. Look at us. Look at us. We might get an Emmy after tonight.
Layers of entertainment.
Probably not, but hey, I'm going to tell myself when I close my eyes when I go to sleep. All right, so our first guest tonight, 19 years of experience at just this one school, played under and coached under legendary football coach Jim Tressel, the Walsh University Cavaliers head football coach, and soon to be 2024-2025 national champions, John Fankhauser.
Too much?
No, that was perfect. If we can get to a national championship, I'll come on this show every week.
All right.
You heard it here first, folks. Let's go.
Yes. How you doing, Coach, man? Thank you again so much for joining us. This is exciting, man. Football season. We realized last night on the late night parlay that Oh my goodness, this is the last Thursday night without football. We are back. We got the Hall of Fame game Thursday right in your backyard.
Yep.
By the way, do you get the football team involved in that? Because that's like a really unique opportunity for you in Hall of Fame City to give a really not too many D2 schools consider to be like, hey man, you're right here in Hall of Fame City. You could end up back here one day.
Yeah, we actually do a lot with the Hall throughout the year, not just in Hall of Fame week, but Hall of Fame week, we'll do two major things for them. One is their Get Fit camp that they'll run for about 300 youth in the Canton area, basically, or kids that come in from out of town. They kind of promote it that way. And what we do is we run football stations with Hall of Famers. So it's really cool for our kids to get around guys like Marshall Falk and there's a bunch of guys that typically do it every year. And it's cool for our kids to be around them and just kind of work the skills and talk about different things. Matter of fact, John Randall took our D-line guys out for dinner after the camp a couple years ago, and he was looking for a good barbecue place. And one of our D linemen said, "Hey, I know a great place," and they all went together. And it's been a really good situation for them in that camp. And we've been doing that camp for, it's probably been 8 to 10 years now.
Wow.
And then the other thing that's kind of happened this year is the Hall of Fame was looking for volunteers because it's a big volunteer thing that they put on every year. And our football players, we got 10 guys that are going to be working the game and helping with sideline security and then field goal nets and things like that. So we have guys that are going to be all around down on the field, and our guys are super pumped for it because they're going to get to see, these guys that they watch on Sundays right up and close and be around them. So it's been a great opportunity for us.
That absolutely, because I actually can get media passes to that, and I've been part of the media. And the one year I did it, I was walking through the back hallways, and I literally ran into Jerry Jones, and he's a small fellow, but I was like, all right, like, hey, where we're from? Like, hey, this ain't T County stuff right here, man. This is big time. This is big time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm wearing my Hall of Fame shirt that I used to volunteer before I became the head coach. I used to volunteer a lot during Hall of Fame week and do some different things. Got a chance to drive some people around and meet a lot of different people, but it's always a great experience football wise.
Wow. And I tell you, that is, I didn't even think about that honestly until we just literally started talking about the Hall of Fame. And you guys don't play at the Hall of Fame stadium. Walsh never was that was Malone had that played there. Or did you play there once upon a time too? We
played there as well. We both shared the stadium, us and Malone. And at the time when Kansas City owned it, it was McKinley, Glen Oak, Timken, Walsh, and Malone. We all played there, and they scheduled us around and everything. So we were there from, probably about 1997-ish till about 2018, 19.
Wow.
Now, McKinley still gets to use the field, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That was kind of like if you want this, you got to have this type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there's always those type of deals.
Yeah, sorry. Not the right show. Not the right show.
Don't get me started.
Gonzi wears the tin foil, coach, so we got to be careful with these things. No, I'm joking.
No. Not really.
Yeah, anyway. Gonzi, what you got for coach?
Just kind of on that kind of experience stuff. I'm interested of what it was like as a coach going from, now I'm going to forget the initials. What your school was before it was NCAA or
NAIA.
NAIA. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that's a cool jump for a school to make it to, right?
Yes, it's some say cool, some say challenging. There's a lot of different versions of what it is.
Yeah.
Well, you could text an NAIA. That was a big deal back in the day. You couldn't.
You could do a lot more things than NAIA. The NCAA is starting to catch up to it.
Oh boy,
That's what you can do. But making that jump was big for our school. Obviously, as you just forgot what NAIA, the initials were, every time we would go out and recruit, we kind of have to explain that to people. What is the NAIA? What does it do? Is it, many people don't know it was the first national organization to collect rules and do things for colleges. It preceded the NCAA. There's a little history note for you, but it was better for us.
Champions.
Yeah, it was better for us to jump into the NCAA because a lot of the schools around us were doing it. We all kind of we had a kind of an Ohio league that kind of decided it was time to go to the NCAA and the NAIA days. So we all kind of went together, if you will. Malone went with us. Ohio Dominican, Tiffin had made that jump a year or two before, and Lake Erie. There's a few other, Urbana, some of those schools, we all kind of went together. So it made sense. And it created a good Ohio base of schools in the NCAA, because previous to that, it would really have been Ashland and Findlay, who had been the NCAA schools at D2 in Ohio.
Right. So did that change anything drastically, or is there any difference for as far as being a coach or a head coach, like rules or what you have to do, or?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. The way we scholarship, that how they count the money and all the things that you can stack on top of financial aid packages changed. Rules. There's a rule book about that thick for the NCAA.
Sure.
There's a one about that thick for the NAIA. And we all have to pass those rules every year to be able to recruit and do the things that we do. So yeah, there's a lot of changes. Just the way the structure of the university was. In the NAIA days, we had a lot of coaches that wore two hats. Tim Mead, our baseball coach, was also our soccer coach. In the NCAA world, you weren't allowed to do that. You had to change that around, and you could only be the head coach of one sport. A lot of us as assistant coaches kind of had two hats that we wore in the NAIA days as well, that we had to kind of get rid of and kind of be focused in on football and all that. So yeah, there's a lot of changes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always.
I just didn't know much about that, so that's just interesting.
Yeah.
How much are you having to deal with the NIL at the D2 level? Because that's like a big thing right now too. I mean, you guys still got your quarterback, your backfields. Canton's got a lot of businesses and stuff like that. And NIL could just be as simple as a restaurant just picking up the tab for the boys to go down there and slam a steak or something. So what are you doing? Are you guys getting ahead of the game? Do you have a department? Where are you guys at on all this?
Well, we do have in our compliance world, as far as if we have a kid that jumps into an NIL contract, that they have to kind of disclose what they're making, what they're doing, because there's supposed to be a give and take. If I would go out, for instance, if one of my players would go out to one of the local car dealerships and get sponsored by them, they're supposed to provide a service back to the car dealership, whether it be promotional, whatever it may be, all the way back through. And it's got to be on the, sort of up and up and all that. So we have dabbled into a little bit. It's not extensive at our level. It's becoming more extensive, though, as you read about Florida and some other places in high school starting to do it. It has trickled through the ranks and started at Division I. It's gone to Division or 1AA, and now it's really starting to trickle into D2. It'll eventually probably get to D3 as well. But yeah, we have a few kids that have gotten some minor deals and things like that, but it hasn't been to the extent the Division I is, that you're kind of getting recruited by what NIL deal that you can get. Excuse me. So.
Yeah. Because some NIL deals only work at certain schools, correct? Or is that, I know it's not supposed to be that way, correct?
Well, yeah, actually, it has changed. It is, each school is allowed to do whatever they can do and create a collective and do that.
Wow.
Yeah, man for himself, grab a child, use it as a shield. We're recruiting folks.
It is wild west. It's kind of back to the old days when they didn't have a scholarship limit and teams would just load up everybody so nobody else could get them. It's kind of getting to that a little bit. And it's trickled down to our level a little bit. I lost a young man this year because he had a little bit better NIL deal at another D2 school. So we've got to get into it too and start working on collectives and different things like that.
Is one of those schools on your schedule?
No, fortunately.
We were going to figure it out. I was going to sniff it out.
Yeah. We're regular old Sherlock and Watson over here. On conspiracies.
Yeah. You came on to the most serious podcast of all time too.
Right.
So we do have a little bit of seriousness, though. We kind of alluded to it when you were in the background there. I'm sure you heard it. Outside of the NIL and winning and all that, you also have like a responsibility to your parents and all that. You're kind of taking, the kid from his mom and dad and kind of permanently placing them on your campus under your supervision. So you are responsible for kind of, in a way, not 100%, but a good part of getting a young man or a boy essentially still. I mean, they know they're at the age of 18. In theory, the term, taking a boy and turn him into a man. What's that like? Do you get a lot of that? I guess, what do you do for these kids and these men, when you go 18 to 21? And what's it like, you get kids from a full house, you get kids with no parents, single parent, no parents at all, and I'm sure that kind of affects how you approach everything. But how does it affect it? What all does your role in all this development entail, or at least what's your approach, and what do you believe your role should be in this? That's probably the best way to look at it. What do you think your role should be in this?
Well, my role as the head coach is to create a program that can help enrich our players, not just on the field, but off the field as well. And what we're trying to do with our guys is make sure that they're doing the things academically, because a lot of our guys aren't going to go in the NFL or play football past college. So trying to make sure that they're doing the right things and setting themselves up for their professional career that's in their job. Our number one goal in my program is to make sure everybody graduates. That's our number one goal. And we'll probably never reach that 100% rank, but we keep getting higher and higher every year of getting our kids into graduation and all that stuff.
And we just had something nowadays, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Harder. It's got to be harder. So good.
It is harder. It is harder. Although I'll say this, we had the best academic year that we've ever had in my 26 years at Walsh. We had a team year average GPA of over a 3.0. It's the first time we've ever done it.
Wow.
So
that's really cool.
Our people are doing good things. Our players are doing good things. But I think my role is not just to help mentor the guys that I'm around, and I'm around all 135 of them, but it's also to hire quality people and have a good quality staff that is able to help enrich those kids and do those things. I think it's a very big responsibility on me and our staff that parents are entrusting us with their kids. And in our society today, it's really easy to say, hey, I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, nope, I hate you. I'm hitting the transfer portal.
Yep.
And I'm gone, or I'm not playing enough, or my dad doesn't think this is right for me now. And that's really a hard thing. And we had a couple years ago that we lost 18 kids that had played for us in the transfer portal that just became kind of unhappy, and it's kind of a group effort type of thing. This past 2 years, we've done a great job of retaining kids, helping them grow, doing the things that promote the college atmosphere. And those kids have also bought into Walsh, and that's really a tribute to them, but it's also a tribute to our coaching staff that have gotten those guys to do those things, and we haven't lost nearly the numbers we had in that 1 year with 18. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, and my belief is treat each player like it's your son. And that means there's days you're going to have to hug them. There's days that you're going to have to kick them in the butt. There's days that you're going to have to sit and talk with them about a loss in the family or an injury or something else that may be going on. For the most part, our guys are pretty good about the girlfriends, so I don't have to deal with that too much. So with the breakups and all those things. But, I just met with one of my starting running backs today, and he was asking me to help him through some of the paperwork and other things that we have to do. And I said, okay, Cam, let's sit down. Let's go through it. I'll pull up the websites and we'll start filling out the stuff, because he just doesn't have access to a laptop. and trying to make sure we're doing the things that our kids can do. And I actually joked with him, Cam, he's like, Coach, this is a lot of stuff we got to do. This is a lot of stuff. He goes, most other people don't have to do it. And I said, yes, that's the privilege you have to play college football. Because when you get out in the real world and you got to do a tax form, or you got to do a loan paper, or you're going to sign for a house, or those things, this is what this is training you for.
Right.
You know, and that's and it becomes real life a little bit in some of the things we're doing with our kids.
Yeah, paperwork sucks.
Oh, it does.
Everyone hates it. Everyone hates it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
there's more and more of it now today than there's ever been.
I swear at work, every week there's another form we have to fill out to do a task at work. It's insane.
You guys, the insurance world, man. I think they really enjoy typing them forms.
The CYA world.
Yeah.
The CYA world.
Cover your butt. Yeah. Leave a trail. Leave a trail. Leave breadcrumbs.
Right.
Protect yourself. Yeah, they also use small children to use them as a shield. Actually, now that so now, Coach, have you ever had like a situation in all your years of like mentoring kids where, and no names, you know, obviously, but like where one situation just really got to you, man, more than any others, you know, like just like a story that maybe started out tragic and just ended up being the most awesome success that you could ever possibly imagine in your coaching career?
Oh boy, you see a lot of the gray hair here, right? I've been able to keep the top half good, the bottom half is gone. Probably my best success story. And one of the things I tell my players, if I recruit you, I am here for you. I'm saying that I'm going to help you get through Walsh University, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that happens. I had a young man from the Zanesville area that was a really, really good football player, but he challenged every fiber in me. He challenged a lot of things at our university. He would push the envelope on just about everything. And, you know, whenever kids come into your office and you're sitting and talking to him, and I recruited the young man as an assistant coach and then became the head coach in his time at Walsh. So he and I had a good bond because I actually needed to drive to Zanesville to pick him up and help him and another player get to Walsh for their visit. And he was a kid that was ineligible his first year, but we saw the promise that he had. He had to sit out, and we got him going, and it was really hard for him because he was a kid that never came off the field in high school, that came to college, and now he's not even allowed to be on the field. He had to, go through those things. So that was a challenge. Like I said, he challenged everything. He got in trouble socially at different times. He had a girlfriend that became a mama and all those things at different times. And I would pull him into my office, and there'd be days I would yell at him like I was yelling at somebody that had just stolen something from me. But there's other days that he would come in my office and we'd sit and cry about certain situations that were going on. And probably the proudest moment that I ever had with him was when he brought his daughter, who had just been born, into the office. And she's sitting on my lap in the office, and he's all fired up. And we had a Walsh onesie that we got for him and gave him, and he was able to wear that. Or he put it on her, and he was so proud. And as she kind of got older, she became more aware of what was going on and all that. And when he graduated, he was a kid that should have never graduated. He had no family life, no mom, no dad. Very little help. His aunt would help him. He was a part of Big Brothers, Big Sisters. They would help him a little bit. But he had just big enough net that would catch him when he fell. And I and our staff were a part of that. And when he graduated, that was probably one of the proudest moments I've ever had as a coach, because he was never supposed to do it. And he had a lot of people told him he would never do it. And he is still chasing that playing dream. He's playing internationally, pro international league. But I'm really proud of him because he graduated, and he he had to leave and go play in Mexico, I believe, and it wasn't at graduation, which upset me a little bit. But I took a picture of his name in the book and sent it to him, and we sat and talked a lot about that too. So that's probably my biggest success story. But there's a bunch of them out there. Even the kids that you have that are really good. I had a kid that I recruited out of Tusky Valley that was as smart a kid as I've ever had. And I never had to really do a whole lot, but at the end, I needed to help him get into medical school and write a reference for him and all that. He is now our team doctor.
Wow, that's cool.
And that's cool too. So
full circle, yeah.
Yep, you have all different levels.
That's cool.
That's real cool.
Yeah, that one, that's freaking rad to me.
You know, because I've known, you know, I was around college athletics, or you remember, you know, Greg Zimmerman, Alderson Broad's coach. All the players while in college that, you know, came from some rough lifestyles that we weren't, you know, accustomed to the way we grew up. But like they always came back after they graduated. And I always remember that these players would come in, they'd still play an open gym. Well, yeah, I can say that now the school's closed. But yeah, they were down there playing with the players, helping them out, banging around and stuff. And they would just always just stay around coach or talk to coach about the players coming in. And I always felt that was like the best compliment a coach could get, especially at that level. It's one thing in high school when you stay in the community, but these kids were going back home and driving 6 hours back to campus just to a small D2 school to watch it. So I'm sure you have a lot on game day. You get some players come around and support and all that, and that probably means the world to you too, right?
Oh yeah, anytime a kid is able to get back to the campus, it's big, and they'll come back. Matter of fact, today I just happened to be walking through our lobby, and I see one of our two of our guys actually that were on the first team at Walsh University in 1995, and I got there in '98, their junior years, and got to sit and talk with them. They both had sophomores and junior daughters that were in a volleyball camp that was going on at Walsh. And I said, hey, what are you guys doing here? And they're like, hey, we're watching our daughters. Man, has this place changed? And we sat and talked about some of the old times, talked about some of the new things that are going on. Yeah, it's cool when kids are able to get back anytime to your campus.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to let me tear up some sidelines on game days this year or what, man? I'm ready to come down there. I'll smack some helmets around my bare forehead. I ain't scared. I got a big old thick skull. Yeah, hey,
come on out. I'll throw you on some headphones.
Oh, let's go.
You're more than welcome.
All right. Hey, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
We'll get Johnsy on a plane from California. We'll get Red Stapler Productions out there on the scene. But no, I'm just really excited for you, Coach. Hey, we do have your schedule. We can't have you on here without doing the schedule game. I want everyone just kind of, because we have a nationwide, we got people from all over the country, even the world that tune into this. So I think it'd be really cool to show them what schools a D2 school plays out of Ohio. Everyone always hears the Arkansases and the Floridas and, and all that stuff. We're going to talk about real schools. So we're starting off here. We got the Hilltoppers out of West Liberty, West Virginia, and you're going to be starting out on the road this year. You won that one last year, so they got a little blood in the teeth, right, Coach? And then you got both Wheeling schools right back to back.
Yeah. So in our world, I like the Mountain East has lost some teams and done some different things, and they had some open dates. And back in the NAIA days, we played West Liberty about every year with Jim Dennison and everything. When I got the job, I decided to call Roger Whaley down there at West Liberty and say, hey, let's rekindle that old deal and get it going, because it's an easy trip. It's a 2-hour drive for both of us, and that saves you on a hotel and some of the other things. So, but it's always been a really good game. And we've been lucky to win last year. We got up on them early and hung on at the end. We go back down to their place this year. It'll be a tough one. West Liberty is a tough place to play. Then we play Wheeling, which is the first time we've ever played each other. And I've known Coach Bruni for a long time. Matter of fact, we recruited Coach Bruni out of Martins Ferry, and he ended up going to Mount Union. But I've known him for a long time. And then we get to go into conference with Kentucky Wesleyan. And our conference is as tough as any conference in the country. It's a smash mouth conference. We don't have a lot of spread teams in it. It's teams that put 2 or 3 tight ends at you and run it. And then we go to Thomas More, which is a new school in our conference. Get into Lake Erie, which is
school, right?
Thomas More just made the jump. Yes.
Yeah, they were NAIA. Okay, so another one.
Yep. And then we go Lake Erie, and that's a good rivalry game for us. And we've battled the last 2 years back and forth, and again, hung on. We won a lot of close games last year, and we lost a lot of close games last year. So I'm expecting this team to grow and get better. Be another year older is a better thing for everybody. So I'm hopeful we can win some of those ones we lost and hang on. Then we go to Hillsdale. They've been a big smash mouth team forever. They got a new head coach who I've known for years as well. So they should stick together. Tiffin's under a new regime. Their head coach had just moved on. They had won the conference 2 years in a row.
They've been a national powerhouse.
Yeah, they went, I believe, 2 rounds in the playoffs last year. And, they're always going to be good. And then a good friend of mine in this coaching world, a lot of us grow up coaching as assistants. Right. We run into each other. The head coach of Ohio Dominican is a good friend of mine as well. And matter of fact, we're on vacation at the same place at the same time every year. So we sit and talk some ball and all that on the beach. So it's hilarious. A good deal.
I bet the wives love that you guys stop on the vacation too, by the way.
Yep, we figured it out in pregame one year. He's talking like, hey, I got to go. I want to get back to vacation. I said, oh, yeah, where do you go? And he told me where he goes. I was like, well, we go there too. He goes, when do you go? And I told him, he says, that's the same time we're there. We got to hook up next year. So we ended up doing it. And we've been meeting the last 2 or 3 years down there. So, awesome. And then Finley's a big team. They're probably picked in the top 3 of the conference this year, along with Ashland. So they'll be very good. And again, 2 teams that also run a lot of 2 tight end stuff, and they're physical and good. And then we have Northwood, who jumped in the conference 2 years ago, from the GLIAC. So it's a really tough conference. We feel like we have a better team. We feel like our kids are very committed to Walsh and also committed to what we're trying to do as a football program. And like I said, we were probably about 6 points away from being a 6-5 team instead of a 3-7 team. So, we got a chance to win some games and do some things, and our experience will really help us. And our kids really had a good spring.
No, I got faith in you, Coach. You got this, man. This is the year.
Well, the great thing that I learned is it's not all me. Thank goodness. Yeah. Right. And I learned that from Jim Tressel when I played for him. I remember being a GA, and he asked me a question that was very pertinent for the whole team, and kind of went with my answer. And I was really shocked. Like, hey, how the heck is he listening to me right now? We're in the playoffs. And it was kind of prophetic for me to kind of get into it and say, hey, everybody matters.
Right. So I guess so let's talk about that then. Like your staff, how much trust do you have to have in a staff to help, be your voice, be the best representation of you when you're not looking and you're not around?
Yeah, it's a challenge every year. We have a lot of guys, and this year we have a more changeover than we've had in the past, but we have guys that are, I talk to them about making sure they do their job, do it to the best of their ability. But number one, care about your players.
Right.
Take care of them. Your group that you recruit is your group that you recruit, but then you get your position group in there too, and you got to take care of your position. And I'll hold them accountable for what their position's doing. If you have a guy that gets in trouble in the dorms, I'm going to come to that position coach, and we're going to go figure it out. But we'll do everything, and I have a lot of trust in those guys to do the right thing. Walsh is a place that you get some help from other people on campus as well to do the right thing. So they have we have a lot of young coaches, but we also have a lot of mentors on campus that'll help. Jeff Young, our basketball coach, has been there for, he's been there almost 30 years. Tim Mead's been over about 40 years. So they have some guys around them that can help them too. But it is, you got to give them the right message and make sure they're holding them to holding that message to the players and then communicating it down through. And then again, taking care of the players is number one for us.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be, because at the end of the day, man, these kids can smell fugazi, right? I mean, kids know when you're lying through your teeth. I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, they're a lot, especially the ones that come from, the rougher backgrounds. Their guards are up higher than
their
anybody,
their trust factor's really low.
You
gotta earn it.
You can't come in just saying sweet little nothings and not following through. Especially up front. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's an adjustment too, because as a coach, you can only do so much, and sometimes their expectations are way up here, and it's hard to reach to. But it sounds like, Coach, that you like communication is a lot of things. And everyone, by the way, tuning in, this is head coach of Walsh University, John Fankhauser, the Cavaliers D2 school out of beautiful Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame city. Johnsy, what else you got here for Coach? Uh-oh.
I mean, is
fire away? Give me anything.
I'm sure you enjoy. I got
Barbara Walters,
questions,
Oprah
but it's
Winfrey, you're on an island. Which one?
Like,
sorry.
What other than being the top dog? What was one of your favorite position to coach? Like coming up, what was one of your favorite? Like, we're like, man, if this is what I do, this is cool. Like, obviously, being head coach is really, really cool, but
if you
well, I'll say this: there's days I wouldn't mind going back.
I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe that.
100% believe that.
Yeah, there's some days. I've had the unique opportunity to coach on both sides of the ball. That doesn't always happen in college.
Oh yeah, that's
I've coached outside linebackers, defensive line. I've always coached kickers and punters in special teams. I've coached running backs. I've coached a little bit of tight ends. So I've been a little bit unique in that sense. I'll say this. I've had a lot of fun coaching defensive line, but I've also had fun coaching running backs. And I think it's not necessarily the position. It's more so the personalities. I've had years that I've hated coaching running backs just because of the personalities.
Sure.
I've had years that I love coaching running backs because of the personalities.
Right.
So you kind of have that. I think the one that fits my mentality the best is the defensive line. Those guys are no nonsense and get after it and got good motors and have a lot of energy and all those things. Those are guys I like and I kind of fit mentality wise with a little bit more. And my running backs tell me that. Coach, you're coaching us like a defensive guy again, because I'm on them and I'm into their stuff and ready. Let's go, get fired up. Let's get going. So defensive line was probably one of the favorite positions I got to coach in my career so far. But it was a lot of the players that I coached. It was a lot of fun. They bought into what I was doing. They grew and got better. And when you see kids come in at a certain level football wise and they gain that next level and keep growing and exceed what they thought they could do, that's really fun.
Yeah, that's got it. Because especially guys you recruit, because you see the talent and stuff, and then you see them maybe even sometimes surpass what you thought. Like, man, he's going to be really effing good now. That's got to be a rad experience.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. It's when you see a kid reach his potential and realize it, and then exceed his potential. Or kind of raise that bar. Yeah. It's really fun.
Well, the nice thing about positional groups is like you get to kind of more micromanage too. You get to kind of more fine tune more. Where no receiver, you can only do so much each day. Then you're relying on your coaches and staff to deliver the message. But even them, they're not you, or they would be where you are at. On that journey of knowledge and all that. Real exciting time, man. I guess in the world of NCAA in the last 5 years, last question I'm going to have for you here, Coach, before we let you get out of here and enjoy your weekend. Out of all the changes in the last 5 years, what has been the most difficult thing you've had to overcome and get used to? Because you've had NIL, the transfer portals, COVID, loss of year of eligibility. which created a log jam of recruiting and pushed the whole class basically out. So and there's been also a lot of good too. This could have all be good stuff. So what's been good or bad, the biggest change that you've either loved or hated in the last 5 years?
Oh boy, there's a couple things you brought up there that I've tried to erase the COVID years from my mind. That year that we went through, that was the hardest year of my career. Just dealing with all the unknowns and all the protocols and different things that were not. You look at, say, we're going to stay 6 feet away from people, but yet we're going to tackle each other. Come on. You got to do that was challenging outside of the football world, just because of everything that was on top of you. The transfer portal has probably been one of the harder things for us to navigate, or for at least me to navigate, because when in Division II, the transfer portal is open 365 days a year. I have kids that could get in it tomorrow, and then I have kids that could get in it week 2. I got kids that could get it after the season and whatever.
Can you play a different school mid-season?
No, you can't leave, but you can get in the portal.
Oh, I was like, what?
I mean, you can leave at the semester. Excuse me, you can't. So if they get in week 2, what did they just tell me? I don't like your program. I want out. I had a family come in and talk to me one time and say, hey, my son really likes it here, but I think he needs to get in the portal just to see what else is out there. And, and if he doesn't find the right thing, he's going to come back. And this is where I started now. And I said, that's really interesting, sir, because if I went home and told my wife, hey, honey, I really like our marriage, but this weekend I want to go out and see what else I can find. And if I find something better, I'm going to go. If I don't, I'll be back on Monday. That isn't going to go over very well.
Yeah, not even close.
And I told the guy, I said, that's basically what you're telling me. You're telling me that our program's not quite good enough. You would rather find something else. But if you don't find something else, we'll fall back on this. So in my world, it's like, okay, if you enter the transfer portal, you're done at Walsh. Basically, you're telling me you don't want to be a part of our program anymore, and that's fine. Right. But don't expect me to keep you on scholarship and all those things, even though there's rules that we have to follow and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, go ahead and go. After we lost those 18, that was hard because every one of those 18 had eligibility left. And kids being kids, they hear all this glory about the transfer portal. It is really hard. There's a sign on my door, on one of our office doors, that says, hey, I was third string quarterback. I'm going to enter the transfer portal. Now I'm 1,303. That's the reality. The kids don't understand is the transfer portal is really hard. And there's a lot of guys that get into that transfer portal that never get out and never play again. Of those 18 guys, only 8 of them went on to play.
Dang.
10 of them never played another down.
Yeah. What's the percentage of, okay, so everyone hears transfer portal.
Yeah,
what's the most, have you heard any recent numbers of those that don't get another scholarship after leaving? I think
I don't know,
over 40%. I think, was that a number?
Yeah, it's a pretty high number. The ones that actually get, because everybody enters the transfer portal to increase their value. Not many kids really do that. It's hard for kids to do. Say I was on a half ride here at Walsh and I wanted to enter the transfer portal and I want to get to 3/4 of a ride. It doesn't happen very much. Or I want to go to Division I, or I want to go 1AA. It doesn't happen very much. There are examples, and the media blows those examples up a lot.
Yeah.
The kids that don't go in, you don't hear about.
Come on.
You don't hear about those things. So what we've done is try to educate our kids and say, okay, when you get into this, here's where it is. And I used to be a guy, like I said, that once they jumped in, I was done with them, whether I loved the kid or not. Now, after losing all those kids, I was like, gosh, we can't just regurgitate freshmen every year. We have to be able to play and survive and keep our jobs and all those things. So now I've gotten to the point where it's a case by case. If we have a kid that jumps in the portal, we'll give him a window to potentially come back so he doesn't drop out of school and some of those things, and try to make it work if we can. And we've taken a few back, not a lot, Because again, I want guys to say, if you're going to make this jump, you got to be so sure that you have a place to go. Here's another side note that nobody ever talks about. We had at the our AFCA football convention. There's supposed to be no tampering. So my kids that are on my team should not have a call until they get into the transfer portal.
Correct.
I know that I had 15 kids last year get called from a representative of a school or something to transfer to their school if they entered the portal. And, we talked at the head coaches meeting in the AFCA and said, hey, how many of you guys have had experience with some tampering? Every head coach in that room, which there's probably 50 so, raised their hand and said, I know that I have had kids that got tampered. So that's another thing about this transfer portal that's really hard is, say a head coach or say I want to recruit a kid from Muskingum. I'll call that kid's head coach in high school and say, hey, let him know that if he would jump in the portal, we got a scholarship for him. Or an uncle or a handler or somebody like that.
Always an uncle.
There's so much of that going on right now. The NCAA can't get their hands on that. That's really hard. Right. So that's the thing that the transfer portal, and that frustrates me more than anything else.
I believe it. Well,
we talked about as a league not even posting our conference all conference players because teams, FCS and other levels were looking at. Okay, here's a kid that's all conference. Let's call him.
Oh, he's a sophomore. Look at that.
Yeah, he's got 2 years of eligibility left. Let's get that guy.
He's not even registered yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's going on. So it's really hard.
Yeah, it really is. Well, Coach, you got this, man. You wouldn't be up there as long as you haven't been if you wouldn't good at what you do. We're looking forward to watching pretty closely this year and follow along with Walsh. We're definitely going to give you some love. Let the world know, of the Dude Network world know that we are 100% behind Walsh Cavaliers this year and their quest.
Well, thank you. I'm excited again for our team.
I was entranced by Johnsy's W there. It was a great. I thought I was the Wayne's World for a second.
No, it's good. That was good. I don't know if I can do it, but it was good.
I wanted to see it keep materializing. That's all.
Yeah. Hey, all season long, we got this.
All season. Hey, we're gonna do score updates all season. I'm telling you, Coach. So, Coach, maybe during the season, man, we'll have to, maybe not Friday nights will be hard, but maybe we'll get a couple pre-recorded sessions on some season updates, and we'll join your journey this year, man. We'd love to do that. We wish you the best of luck, and of course, man, thank you always for coming on here and spending some time with us, delinquents, and dudes.
No problem. No problem. I'm happy to come on. Hey, if it's a Friday afternoon, we tape. We'll make it work.
All right, let's do it. All right, Coach. Dudes and dudettes, head football coach at Walsh University, the Fighting Cavaliers, John Fankhauser. Let's go. All right, Coach. We'll see you next time.
Thanks.
All right, John Z. Let's take that commercial break, and we're going to get back, and then we're probably going to talk for a few minutes as we get the Schneemans lined up here on Dudes After Dark. So keep it locked in here, folks, and we'll be right back after these messages. Let's go.
Commercial.
I hardly ever wear it. Oh, sorry, guys.
Oh, that's all right.
Are they coming after you? He's got the attack dogs out after him.
Yeah. Is that the feds raiding the place or what? looking for some classified documents in your house or what?
I'm saying
California, y'all are what? What?
Tri-tip?
Yeah, that's it, right?
No, you stop it. See, the one thing about California is we were like the babies to the barbecue scene. So we just took everything that everybody else did, and we're like, oh, well, this is how you should really do it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Whatever. I'm just kidding. I am not going to get all crazy trying to defend California barbecue because
good. So we're not going to talk about
So, if you were a hot dog and you were starving, would you
Here we
eat
go.
yourself?
Oh, of course.
If you were a hot dog and starving, would you
That's
eat
about
yourself?
it.
Oh,
Right.
I'm a monster.
I'm starting on my ass. I'm gonna eat the ass first. Ass cheeks.
He's got.
Ass
You
cheeks,
heard
not
it here,
the asshole.
folks.
Ass cheeks.
Nope, it doesn't matter. It's already clipped. It's already clipped.
Right.
You heard it here first.
Whatever gets us rich and famous,
Hey.
if that's what it
Hey.
does, and that's
Whether
what it
it's
is.
head
Here we
and KC or ass as a hot dog, he's getting it.
Yeah. Remember how we're saying ass hot dog, not a hot
Damon,
taco.
I just made Damon fall out.
Yes,
I
sir.
just made Damon fall out. Yes.
If the moon were made of cheese,
Jam don't
You
shake like
know.
jelly.
You know what I'm
What's
saying?
up, dudes and dudettes? Have you heard? MST Sauce Company has the new Dipped in Gold. MST is out of Tiffin, Ohio, home of the Tiffin University Dragons, and this is a collaboration with them. That's why it's the Golden Glaze Sauce. As you can see, I've already dipped into this stuff. Absolutely freaking phenomenal. Got a little spice. It's a perfect glaze for some wings. Nice little topper for some fried chicken, some fried pork, or just really good on a salad. Look at the consistency in that there. Definitely dude approved. Go check them out at mstsaucecompany.com. Thanks for them for being a part of the Dude Network family. Back to the show.
What is up?
Dude, you missed the greatest clip of that commercial, bro.
What part was it?
Oh, the one where it's me, you, Damon, and Fatty from
I did miss.
216 Network.
Yeah. Oh, come on, fatty! Everybody tuned in last Friday.
Illegal ham, illegal ham to the face.
Illegal hand to the face. That was, by the way, I listened back to that show. He came into a shit show, and he just contributed to it. He just threw gas on the fire, and I loved
He
it.
did. He absolutely did. And
Him
every
with
time,
the tacos and the milk of cereal, it was just a mess.
Yeah.
It was out of control. By the way, everybody, the MST dry rub snack sticks are phenomenal. The company that co-packs them actually is out of like northern Michigan, and they make the best jerky. They literally have jerky outlets up there, but they're using his stuff. So,
speaking of that jerky, if you purchase some of that jerky,
yeah,
it gets you into the giveaway. If you paid attention to the commercial, it listed everything in the giveaway.
yeah, we need to talk about that now. We don't have a guest,
right? Oh, they're not.
Well, I mean, I'm waiting
for
for
right
them
now. Well, yeah.
They might. Hopefully, they figure it out and come on. I hit them with California time, so hopefully Oh, is there a link to join? Apparently, I got to resend that. Okay. Oh man. All right, I got to pull myself out because it's going to do like a double talking.
Oh, okay, 10-4.
Actually, can you text me? Hang on. Copy. Email.
What would you like me to hang on to?
No, I got it under control. Yeah, hang on.
I don't know.
Hang on to my brain because it's about to fall out.
Oh boy. Sorry. Not the right time. So we'll go over the giveaway. A lot of cool partners. There will be a hashtag given tonight for that count. You can get 8 entries this month just by watching the shows where there's four Dude Network shows weekly. You got Thursday. It's the only show at a different time. That one's at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Late Night Parlay with this beautiful gentleman and our good buddy Chip over 3 Overs Daily. And then Friday night, you can get a hashtag. Saturday is the after party fun show, whatever you guys want to call it. And then Sunday, you can get another hashtag if you watch another foodie show.
Let's do the hashtag right now.
Okay, hashtag right now. I was thinking go Walsh.
like it. It's better than the one I had. I love it. All right,
What'd you have?
Hashtag Doodly, since we're doing all sports stuff. But
Ooh.
no, go Walsh.
Let's do it,
nope,
man.
I don't want it. I don't want that one anymore. I
No,
want yours.
go Walsh, right?
Hashtag go Walsh.
Yeah. Hashtag go Walsh.
DOWALSH. Hashtag
Yes.
go Walsh. Get your free entry. Let's go. If you want
And
more than that, then
hashtag go Walsh, and it must be spelled correctly. The school, the Walsh part. So
yeah, WALSH. WALSH. Like wash, but throw an L in that thing. Sorry, couldn't help it.
Perfect.
So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. This is like just a really cool show.
High level,
very high level, and just some
Right.
awesome guests to really do that. I really enjoyed Coach Fankhauser because he is always, he's been up there for a long time, man. He's seen a lot of things change, and as you guys could tell, still a pretty positive person.
But he's also, didn't he coach high school? I mean, he started
out at Youngstown State as a player, and then went on to coach under Jim Tressel as a GA. Then went down to Walsh as an assistant, so he's been down at Walsh. And then after
26
the coach
years,
left,
he said.
yeah, and 9 years as an assistant, then got the head job. So everybody, again, you got the givvies, the hashtag there, hashtag go Walsh. Don't forget about the giveaway. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the show. But right now we have our second, we're going to say our round of guests, because we got more than one here. A really, really awesome opportunity here. A Dude Network first. We've had the pros on. We've had some Joes on, couple Joes hosting.
Right.
We've had the wives on before, and now tonight we get to have the parentals.
Right. I'm excited for this.
The disciplinarians. The spanker of butts, probably not so much, but it might be an older thing, but you never know. Maybe their kid needed it. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. One thing I know about athletes as kids, they're a handful. A lot of athleticism, as they would say, which means high energy.
Right.
But no, we're really excited about this. As we all know, I am from the great state of Cleveland. We got our new city code color hats on this year. I love it. I love my Cleveland teams. I've worked really hard into creating a network to get some really cool opportunities to get a deep dive into that world. And mistakenly along the way, we fell into this one. Really funny story. Maybe Hadley will share that with us of how I met her. But let's get him on here and let's learn about what it was like being the parent of a promising athlete, getting them through that stage into the pros, but also let's get to know a little bit about some of the player it is. Rookie second baseman Daniel Schneeman, or as I call him, the Schnee. I don't know if it's catching on yet, but it better. It will after tonight. If not, I'm just going to be the only idiot in the crowd. I'll be that guy. But we're really excited to have his parents on. He's been a very awesome addition, rookie for the Cleveland Guardians this year. They're tied for the best record in the American League. And actually, I don't know what the score was tonight.
I got a few of them on my fantasy
team. They were winning.
So.
And off a win tonight, 3-1 over them stankin' Phillies. Let's go. But the parents of Daniel Schneeman, we're really excited about this. We have Pat and we have Hadley, or AKA the Schnees, out of San Diego, California, on a stealth mission. How we doing? Hey. All right, Cali vibes. I love it already. Hey, we got John's up here from Turlock, California.
Oh,
so,
cool.
Now, where are you guys at? Where are you at right now?
Well, we don't want to disappoint you too much. We are native Californians, at least I am, born and raised San Diego. But Daniel was raised in San Diego his whole life up until he went to BYU. But we moved to Utah a few years back. So my wife's family lives here in Utah. So we're actually in Utah right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm heading out. I'm heading out I'm a licensed private investigator, been doing it for 30 years, and I'm heading out on a surveillance assignment tonight. I brought I bring her with me on any infidelity case because she's a decoy. So she's the best decoy out there. She's
I knew
beautiful.
infidelity.
Yeah.
I knew it was
We're on the hunt. We are on the hunt.
I knew it.
So we're heading out on a surveillance assignment, but we're excited to be on the Dude Network,
Yeah,
man.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
So
who
this is
knew?
an absolute honor.
Who
Thank
knew
you.
The pro athlete's son would be the second coolest part of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. If we had to describe the perp, over 6 foot tall, under 6 foot tall.
This guy's under 6 foot. This is a true story. I'll tell you a little about the case I'm heading out on. So this guy, he's under 6 foot. My client just called me. I tagged his car with the GPS device. Okay, so in Utah, I'm allowed to do that in Utah. So his car right now is over at the girlfriend's house. So we're heading out there, and the wife called me and said he's gone. He was taking a shower and he's taking off. So we got about a 40-minute drive. But when we get out there, I got my camcorder here. This is my weapon of choice right here.
I was gonna say, I thought he was about to do something else there for a second. I was like, Hadley's just sitting there, was all cool with it, you know.
So we got time to talk though.
That's funny, man. That is absolutely hilarious. I kind of was like joking, like, "Oh, infidel," and yeah, I guess we're right there. Absolutely terrible. Don't do that, all you married folks out there. Sorry,
Yeah,
I know you need the work. I know you need the work, man. But I got to do my part to kind of take a little bit out of your wallet there. We got to be better, folks. We got to be better.
Not due to prove. Not due to prove.
Yeah, that is not due to prove.
Right.
Well, welcome to the Dude Network. I wish I could tell you it's like this serious place, but it's not. But no. So we're real excited to have you guys on. We had the first half of the show. We had head coach John Fankhauser on. He was a D2 football coach out of Canton, Ohio, just south of Cleveland. And we were talking about his role of, being a mentor of young athletes and guiding them into adulthood. And here we have you two lovebirds on here, as you had the joy of raising, an actual pro athlete. And so I'm sure it's not easy being a parent in that situation. So, but my first question to you is, at what point did you realize, man, this might actually go really, really far. We need to take this more seriously.
Yeah, I'll handle that one. Yeah, early on, Daniel showed signs of being a little different. I would say to the point of being a little weird, almost. I mean, Hadley could tell you a story. In fact, I'll let Hadley tell the story. Tell him the story about wearing his uniform under school.
Oh, when he was probably 10 or 11. He was in like 4th grade.
He was younger. He was 6 or 7. He was younger. He was like 1st or 2nd grade. He was younger. Go ahead.
So he went to school and came home, and he looked so hot. He was like sweaty and his face was all red. And he got home from school, and I'm like, buddy, are you doing okay? He's like, I'm fine. And I go, Daniel, are you sure? And I kind of put my hand like on his shirt, and I looked at him like, Daniel, lift up your shirt. He's like, no, I don't want to. I go, Daniel, lift up your shirt right now. And he pulls up his shirt, and he has this whole uniform on underneath his clothes. He'd worn it all day to school. So that when he got home, all he had to do was take his shirt and his pants off, and he was ready to go to the field. And
nice.
That's how he was as a kid. It was like in his blood,
He slept in his uniform the night before. He was fortunate to have a big brother, and I think a lot of really good athletes, in my opinion, a lot of them come from are usually not the oldest. They're usually the younger brothers of athletes who they try to keep up with. I found that as a coach. I found that the younger brothers usually were, they're always trying to keep up with their older brothers, always trying to fend for themselves against them. It made them tougher. It made them better, and especially prepared them for a game like baseball. But
that makes a lot of sense, though.
Yeah, so Daniel was fortunate. His older brother was a really good baseball player as well. So Daniel was always just kind of hanging around his teams, little league teams, travel teams. And when we, so early on, we could tell he was a little different. Always had a really good arm. But, I would say when it was early. I mean, maybe I'm just an optimist, and Daniel always dreamed about it. And some people have said things, as a parent, they said, you should be realistic with him and tell him explain to him what the odds are of making it. And I never threw cold water or on his dreams. I always let him dream. And as a parent,
yes,
I'm a big believer in that. If they so I always just, that's what he wanted, and I fed right into it. I said, you can do it, buddy. I know you can do it. So I never doubted him.
Guess what? You're like mid-20s with a college education. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the world's over. Ah.
Right, exactly. And you learn how to fail. But the game of baseball, it's such a good game to prepare you for life, and it really does that. There's that line in Moneyball where he says, "Hey, we're all told at one time we can't play the game. It's good. Some of us it happens after Little League. Some of us it happens after high school. Sometimes it's after college. Sometimes it's in the minors. But we're all told it. At some point, every player is told, hey, you can no longer play the game. So until that day, just play, man. Play hard and supported Daniel in that. And he was fortunate enough to have a car's kind of rearing into me. He was fortunate enough to have a good wife who also, he's drafted in 2018. He was married in 2018. He married a great girl who helped pursue his dreams. I get almost a little emotional thinking about it. I'm sorry, you guys. I know it's the dude network, but
this is what we're here for.
Modern cry.
This is what we're here for.
Peter, I cry every day.
I won't cry.
We're feelers.
Yeah,
we're feelers.
Okay, good.
I got a 4 and 6-year-old. I cry all the time.
Okay, there you go. I'm glad to hear that. But she said something to him when he got called up. She said, I always knew you would. I always knew you could. And she did. And she's there. She just flew out to Philly last night on the red eye. So she's in Philly right now. He wanted her out there. And
Let's go.
He's a better player. He's a better player when she's around. And we're all better men when our wives are around. That's why I got mine with me right now.
Hey, we call him the better half for a reason, right, Johnsy?
every day.
Well, Johnsy, we got, we'll call them Californians. They're temporarily relocated, but
Oh, it's good, bro.
Yeah. So what do you got here for your fellow Californians?
Us?
I got it.
Oh no, Johnsy, sorry.
Got you.
No, you're good. I gotta ask. What was his schools of choice? Coming from San Diego, what were his schools of choice? How did he end up at BYU?
Okay, great question. He played on a really elite travel team, CBA.
There's some serious travel teams out here.
Yeah. SoCal's the mecca for elite travel.
Right.
Phil Nevin's son. Phil Nevin was one of his coaches growing up from San Diego. Tyler Nevin was on his team. Several big leaguers now. I can't come to mind some of their names, but a lot of guys on his teams, on his travel teams. They all got offers early on. A lot to go D1. Daniel was a little bit undersized as a sophomore, so he wasn't with the elite teams until about his junior year, the summer going into his junior year of high school, and then the summer going into during his junior year is when he really started to play with the elite team. CBA Marucci, who had a lot of big name guys that played for Team USA. So he went to a lot of these showcases down in SoCal and Florida.
Yeah.
The schools that expressed an interest in him, I'll tell you who they were. West Virginia was one of them.
Hey, Tony!
That would have been awesome.
West Virginia did. Oregon State. Daniel played center field one game, and Oregon State came out and said, "Hey, we really like him. He kind of fits the prototype of being one of our center fielders." And Josh, his coach, said, "Well, he's more of a shortstop." And they had Nick Madrigal was the
White Sox player.
Was on our team and already committed to Oregon State. I think Madrigal played with Stephen Kwan too.
I was gonna say Kwan was played center field. Wouldn't that have been wild?
Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't go there.
that might have been.
Madrigal at short, Kwan at center. So, but then there was also Daniel was like in Long Beach, the Long Beach Dirtbags. I don't know.
LBC.
Cal State Long Beach was and he got it. So we had a recruiting trip at Loyola Marymount, who was in the same conference as BYU, and he also had a community.
Okay.
So we had offers from 3 D1 schools. BYU, we're Mormons, we're Latter-day Saints, and BYU made him a really good offer, and so
it's a great school anyway.
Yeah,
it's a really good school, no matter the sport.
Beautiful. I heard it's beautiful out there.
Dude.
And a great baseball program.
Yeah.
Right.
And now they're in the Big 12, by the way, which is kind of exciting.
Yep.
They're over in the Big 12. But yeah, so he had offers from 3. But he had a lot of looks in recruiting. We didn't pursue West Virginia, although I think they would have liked him. But yeah, Daniel kind of was interested in going to Cal State Long Beach, but I think he made the right call.
Right. Yeah, definitely a better call.
My favorite mascot is the UC Irvine Anteaters, man. I like the Anteaters.
Yeah, they're good. They're good too.
You don't like the Yalls?
The who?
What?
Yalls.
The Florence Yalls, yeah. Hey Hadley, is Cleveland taking care of him? Are we feeding him good up there? Is he liking the food, liking the town? What's he telling his mama about the city of Cleveland?
You know what? Daniel loves being on this team. I mean, he just talks about he really talks about Vogt a lot, about what a great coach he is, how positive he is. We talk all the time about how it's like the right place at the right time. I mean, this team is amazing. They feed them well. He gets steak almost every day.
Welcome to the Midwest.
Yeah, he loves steak. So when we were there, we were driving by this steakhouse and said to him, "Hey, have you ever eaten there?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe that's one of the places they got steak from one night, So I think they feed him really well. He's super happy and really loves greatest friends are on this team. I mean, they've come up through the organization together, So it's a special team and a special time to be there for sure.
That's so cool.
You were in Cleveland last weekend, correct? Was that your first time to Cleveland?
No, we were there for his debut. Actually, the Guardians flew us out.
Oh wow!
30 on that Saturday, and we were on the same night. Cleveland flew us out and put us up at a hotel, and so we were there that week for his debut.
So sick.
And then we just went back because, of course, they were playing the Padres.
Yeah.
So
went back to see. Yeah,
that's right. And Friday night,
when Daniel was in the minors, he stayed with. There was a program where a lot of the for the new minor league negotiation contracts. So he became pretty close with some of these host families that hosted him at Lake County and I'm not sure in Akron, but at Low A and High A Lake County. And these people were they treated him like their own son,
Yeah.
So when we were there this past weekend, they invited us. They came to one of the games, and then after the Sunday game, they invited us over to their house for, believe it or not, steak. And so me, Daniel, and we all went. Yeah, they barbecued up some steak. They're great people, Bill and Laurie, and we went to the same house up in Lake County that Daniel stayed at. So when a little funny story out there, I'm always bragging about Daniel. I'm like, I can't.
Proud dad.
So proud
well, yeah. I mean, if you're not, what are you doing?
I know.
This is also called the Dad Pod. So
Yeah, this is the DAD pod here, man. The dudes after dark. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when we walked around the stadium during the game, and we saw somebody with the Schneeman jersey on, and so I walked right up to him, like it was out in center field. When we were there in June, we didn't take the lap around the stadium, but in this last weekend, we took a lap around the whole stadium. We went to the little Hall of Fame in center field. It was just great.
Right, yeah.
We saw some guy in center field drinking a beer, and he had a Schneeman jersey on. And I walked up to him, and I go, hey, it's great seeing my last name on a jersey. And I don't think he got it at first. He goes, oh, yeah, well, my name's Schneeberger, and I had to get it because I'm like, yeah, well, he talked to me how much he liked Daniel. I go, yeah, well, Daniel's my son. He's like, what? He couldn't believe it. I'm like, yeah,
that's Cleveland.
Son. Yeah. So, and then we went over later that day. We went over to his host family for dinner, and I was out playing catch with my 15-year-old son on the front yard, and Daniel came out and started playing catch with Michael. And people were, they're just Midwesterners, the greatest people on earth. They're walking up and down the street, and a family's walking their dog, and they walked by, and we started talking to them, and they were telling me about the Browns, and I was bragging about the Chargers. We got Herbert, and we got Harbaugh now.
Johnsy's in heaven. I'm outnumbered. I'm outnumbered.
We're fired up about We're fired up about the Chargers, and
we are. Yeah, we are.
Daniel's like right behind me, and later he goes, I knew it was coming. I'm like, I go, hey, you guys like the Guardians? And they're like, yeah, we like the Guardians. Heck yeah, we like all Cleveland teams. Like, oh, really? Well, I go, you see that guy right there? And Daniel had his back to me. He's playing catch, and I go, yeah. I go, he's on the Guardians. And they're like, what? I go, yeah, that's Daniel. Who is it? I go, it's Daniel Schneeman. They're like, that's Daniel Schneeman? And they got all excited. So and Daniel turned around and said hi.
What's nice is your last name is. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Hadley.
Somehow it always, especially with this one, it always seems to come up in every conversation.
Yeah, I find a way to work it in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you got to do that. And that's what's nice is, like, we've had a lot of players come through Cleveland. We've never had a Schneeman. So, yeah, easy to remember. So we like that. We like that. We like different.
So
the guy in the outfield that we talked to said, well, I'm a snow mountain and he's a snowman.
Yeah,
so.
Schneeman means snowman in German. So I don't know if you knew that. So his nickname is nicknamed him Snow growing up. Yeah.
Because he's cold as ice in the veins. Let's go.
Ice in his veins.
So I got your story I brought up. I got to ask the question. What was it like when you guys first saw, and Daniel too, when you guys all as a family saw your guys' last name, knowing your son was on a Major League Baseball team? That had to be.
Yeah, we couldn't imagine.
Yeah. You know what we thought? Honest to goodness, and as coach, you just had a coach on.
Right.
When Daniel got his first hit, we looked up at the big screen at the stadium, and it had us up there, had us cheering for him. But and this is another thing when we really thought about Daniel, when he got the call, my mind went back to the journey it took to get there.
Right.
I thought about all the families, the teammates, the travel ball. There's so many people involved in helping develop him as a player, as a person. But the people that stand out at the top of that list are the coaches. Yeah. They don't get paid any money really until maybe at the highest levels. But there could have been a long line of coaches standing behind him on that field when he ran out there for the first time. I mean, so many great coaches going back to Little League. And then through travel ball,
as a 7-year-old, he was on the San Diego Stars.
Yeah.
And that was really Lyle Gabriel from San Diego. Yeah. And really started developing Daniel as a shortstop. I mean, just from 7 years old, developing those habits, like getting your hand down, scooping the ball, the ground balls, like those, you know, he just had amazing coaches all along the way. We went to Cooperstown with him, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, we talked about the coaches, and if we wish that we could have had all of our friends and family and all the coaches in the stands at that moment. You know,
Right.
it was just this feeling of just this collective group that really helped Daniel get there, you know?
And they developed more than just him as a player. I mean it. And I think coaches in all sports do it, but particularly baseball, with the amount of failure in baseball that you got to learn to deal with, and the emotions, controlling those things. You know, but these guys developed his character, man. They're just such good men, and he's had some women coaches too, good men and women who really developed him as a person, as a young man. And I said long ago when he was in the minors, it doesn't matter if he's gonna have a great life, he's gonna have a great marriage, he's gonna be, and a big part of it was because of sports, because of what the lessons, the life lessons he learned in baseball, from baseball.
Well, don't forget, a lot of it's going to have to do with mom and dad too. Don't forget your role in all this. Yeah.
Well, thanks.
We're definitely vibing the vibe from you guys, and I can tell it was a nice, awesome environment for him to grow up in, for sure. Very comfortable. No, that's
we have 7 kids. Do you know we have 7 kids?
Daniel's right in the middle of 7.
Silence. You guys are shocked over there for that.
No,
my family's LDS. My family's
2.
LDS, but there's only 4 of us, so.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, so you know. Yeah.
The rest of my family, though, they got numbers.
Yeah.
It's funny because Daniel's siblings, you know, we talked a lot about, you know, parents sacrificing and sacrificing weekends, and, you know, travel ball is not cheap. You know, bats are
travel ball,
$450. You know, gloves.
Well, and you guys were doing like the big stuff. You weren't doing like 3-town over travel ball. You guys were traveling.
It was funny because we talked to, you know, people always talk about that, and my other kids, you know, Daniel's siblings are like, wait a second, like, we sacrificed family vacations to do baseball tournaments. We sacrificed weekends. We were drugged from field to field to, you know.
So he was going to make it, or they were going to string him up and whoop him.
It was definitely.
You ruined my childhood. Why did you quit?
Yeah. They love it though. They love it now. I mean, they're just.
I bet you. Yeah.
Oh, who? I mean, there might be a little bit of jealousy on service, but I'm sure everybody's just so freaking proud. Here's a good one for you. What's been the toughest part of being the parents of a pro athlete in that transition of, you know, solely responsible of teenage years to BYU to marriage to pro? What's been the hardest part of that as parents?
I'll start, but she'll probably have something good to add. But I'll just say, you know,
Mama always knows.
Staying even keeled. You know what we learned once he gets to the pros. You know, in college, people kind of coddle the athletes a little bit. You don't hear nasty stuff about them. You know, Daniel kind of had a little honeymoon his first month as a major leaguer, but over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's like many big leaguers. He's had some struggles. We've learned. Stay off of Twitter.
Yeah. People are brutal.
It can be toxic. It can be nasty. And you know, there's been some, you know, and when things are fine, you can read. It's fine reading the headlines, the nice ones. But when they don't pull punches for big leaguers if things don't go right. If you make an error, you know, you do not want to go to Twitter because they'll say things about your son or my daughters are like. Daniel's wife was getting messages on Instagram.
Every day.
Yeah, tell your husband how to throw a baseball. It's like terrible. So you do kind of you know. Yeah, so we've learned that lesson. You know, just you can't take things personally. You gotta have.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when things don't go perfect, stay off of Twitter, stay off of social media, and
even keeled is what you mean.
Yeah, stay even keeled. He, you know, it's the same lessons in baseball. You know, there's so much failure in it. The same thing he had to learn back, you know, in college through the minors. You know, the thing about Daniel is what's unique about him is is, he was the 33rd rounder, as you guys probably know, right?
Right.
1004.
Yeah, that's right. Overall,
Boom.
yeah.
Memory.
I'm glad no one told us back then that he had like less than a 1% chance. Less than 1% of people drafted after the 30th round make it to the show. I didn't know that. I'm glad I didn't know that, because I thought when he got drafted,
It was so low they discontinued the round.
Right.
Exactly. They don't even have it anymore. Right.
So Daniel always felt pressure, like through the minors. I think, at the time we kind of felt like, well, is that a good thing or a bad thing? But he learned how to play facing pressure. He never, because he was always, a bad season, one bad season away from maybe being released. When it's not like they invested. He wasn't a top 10 draft pick where they gave him $250,000 or $5 or $1 million signing bonus. They're not going to let those guys go right off the bat. They're going to hang on to those guys for a long time and give them a good opportunity to fail. Well, if you're a 33rd rounder with peanuts as a signing bonus, they don't. If Daniel felt pressure throughout the minors, so when he got to the majors, he did well. He was used to that pressure, and I found that I think that some guys that when they get to the majors, some of them it's the first time, if they're really high prospects, it's the first time they've really ever felt that pressure. And so, one of the differences and one of the reasons Daniel's had success, when he was, because it wasn't new to him. There's a lot of pressure in the bigs, right. But Daniel always felt that pressure. Whereas I think a lot of top prospects kind of skate through and they do well.
Right.
It's easy to do well when you don't feel pressure in baseball.
Right.
It's really when you feel that pressure, that's where it's really sometimes hard to do well. And so I think that's been something that actually ended up helping Daniel. At the time we didn't like it. We were
I think for me as a parent, that is the part that's the hardest. Is the pressure? Is him feeling pressure or him feeling, like, dang, I wish I'd gotten a hit, or I wish I'd not swung at that pitch, or did swing at this pitch, or you know what I mean, like the things that you think of. And for me as a mom, I think that's kind of the hard part for me, is when he feels that pressure, because we have such belief in him and in him and his ability. And so, when they go through those stretches where they feel a little doubt or they feel a little bit of pressure, I think as a mom, that's the hard part for me, because I want him to always see him the way we see him, And sometimes that's hard, but he does a good job of it, but that's the hard part.
He's got good teammates too. You look at a guy like Stephen Kwan in particular, who has always had this. He talks about how he had self-doubt. He really has he's an undersized kid.
Too small, can't hit for power. Won't be a good big league player.
He talks a lot about that, but he used meditation to kind of clear his mind and give himself, self-confidence and to believe in himself, and that's it. I think a lot about what Stephen Kwan says. I'm so glad, and Stephen Kwan is one of Daniel's really, really good friends on the team. Kwan, Freeman, Tyler Freeman, Kwan, are two of Fry is one of his good friends. He's really close.
Fry.
He's on Johnson's fantasy team. He loves David Fry.
Yeah. I couldn't pick up Daniel.
Yeah. That's all right.
Yeah, they're lucky to have each other. I think. I just think this is a special team.
Yeah.
And the camaraderie that they feel, the way that they pull for each other,
That's
they
cool.
lead each other on. I think that's part of what has made this team so successful, is the relationships that they have for each other too. So.
And here's the other thing too, and a lot of athletes actually, and I don't know if you've heard this, but a lot of athletes that come to Cleveland that aren't from Cleveland actually end up raising their families and staying in Cleveland. And actually a lot of high profile celebrities also come to Cleveland because you can keep that normal profile when you go to the grocery store, walk down the street. The media is not too bad. So, no, I think you have to be ultimately somewhat happy that he ended up in the Midwest. I'm curious on what the reaction was. It's like, oh, Cleveland. It was Cleveland that drafted Daniel. So I got to ask here, what was the overall reaction when you found out it was Cleveland, or was like, hey, it's the 1004th pick? We're just glad we got the call. And was he a senior, or was he a senior out of BYU?
Nah, it was his
Okay,
junior
so he had a
year.
little leverage in
Yeah.
negotiations.
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
leverage.
So he got a little bit better of a signing bonus because of that. He was contacted. This is an interesting story. He was contacted in the 20th round. So they had a scout day at BYU during his junior year, and the two teams that were most interested in him were the Cleveland Indians and the
Roll Tribe. Roll Tribe.
Roll Tribe.
and the Anaheim Angels. So
Oh!
they contacted. So this is funny. I would post all of his hits on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I would like when he got a home run, and I could look on my YouTube at analytics, and I would look and see where the views of his home runs were coming from, and I kept on seeing Northern Ohio. So if you look at Google Analytics, you can see.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
big analytic watchers over here.
It's a deep dive. You can get in there.
So someone in Cleveland was, I knew they were interested in Daniel because they were always kind of checking out his highlights and stuff. So someone must have been playing him and showing him. Anyway, so he was contacted in the 20th round by he had an agent, and he was contacted, dead deer on the side of the road. He just missed it. Dead roadkill right there. So
dinner.
Yeah, right. 20th round by Anaheim, and they asked him kind of what he would be willing to sign for. I think Daniel went a little high, or he told his agent, I don't know what the number was, but it was a little too high for them. So they passed, or I guess that we didn't know, but they didn't sign. And then he got contacted 13 rounds later, or not contacted, just drafted 13 rounds later, and he signed for about half of what he told Cleveland. What he told Anaheim. At the time, I remember thinking, oh, you shouldn't have went so high. You shouldn't have said so high. Maybe the Angels would have signed you, because the Angels AAA team is right here in Salt Lake.
It's the bees,
yeah.
right? I mean, literally.
Yeah, I was just saying bees, right.
But you know what? I would much rather have him drafted in the 50th round and go to Cleveland than been drafted in the 15th, 16th. He had a friend that was drafted in the 15th, 16th round with the Angels, and the guy did well, but he was released kind of, I felt like, unjustly. I am so glad. We are so grateful that Daniel went to an organization that evaluated him not based on where he was drafted, not based on whether he was a top prospect, but they evaluated him based on what he did on the field. Yeah. And that's why Cleveland's successful. Prospect.
You heard it here first.
Right. It's what you do on the field that matters. It's not what your signing bonus was. It's not where you were drafted. It's not what it's what you do on the field. And that's why Daniel is where he is, because an organization put an emphasis on the right things and stuck with him. Even when he struggled a little bit, they stuck with him. And we couldn't have been more grateful that he was drafted, that he went to Cleveland. That's the best thing that ever happened.
I know we're grateful. I know I'm grateful personally. I'm grateful.
I mean, I'm a little bummed he didn't go to the Angels. I'd have loved that, but it's all right.
He went to a real American team.
Oh, get the freak out of here, bro!
I'm here. Nope. This is a Garden Team show. Nope. All other teams
hating on America.
Listen, I'm willing to I want to rename the Cleveland Schneeman.
I'll tell you, I think Cleveland, Midwest Cleveland fans are some of the greatest fans in
preach
of anybody.
Right.
I mean, they have been everybody. I mean, people at the games, walking to and from the field, in restaurants, at the hotel. I mean, just these Midwest people, as you know, are just so gracious and have been so unbelievably welcoming to Daniel, to our family. I mean, to Pat and I just am so impressed with, the people and the fans of Cleveland. it's just been nothing but a great experience for us.
It feels like family.
Yeah.
It feels like family. My family. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, to be fair, they lose so much. What else are they gonna do?
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Sorry.
Gonzi, that was uncalled for.
We're San Diego fans. We've
Oh,
never won
no.
anything other than Little League. We won the Little League World Series, but that's
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
burps up.
Padres for a
the
minute.
Chargers.
And the Chargers.
Well, you know what it's like being a Chargers fan. We've been twice, and that's it. Didn't do nothing. It's ridiculous.
You guys got to come out, though, and take in a Browns game. You got to come in and take out a Browns game. Oh, maybe. Maybe not. Look how happy.
Yeah.
Come back.
We're in a little bit of a glotchy service here. We're waiting on you to come back in the service.
There
All
we
right,
are.
you're back. You're back. You're back. You're back. You're back. Well, you will have to repeat what you just said. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's the perps counter surveillance. We
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. He put up a buzz on your GPS system.
Yeah. Do the Chargers and the Browns play this year? Chargers and the Browns? I don't think so.
I don't think so
I don't
because we
think
played
so.
the NFC East and the AFC South.
We're both AFC, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
we're
we
West.
play two divisions.
Okay,
we don't
yeah.
play that one.
Yeah. You're right.
Hey, I'm a ball card collector. I bought a lot of Justin Herberts in the offseason. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Buy low, sell high. But you heard it here first.
Right. Hey, that's a guaranteed, bud.
Yeah. He's the real deal.
He's a good quarterback, man.
I know.
I had something. And I'm trying to. John, you got anything else? I know you got. I had a good one. I need you to. Can't think of it.
Oh man, sorry. I was
Nope.
gonna. Here we go.
No.
Oh, I thought you had it.
No. No, Cleveland actually has a lot of history. I know what it was. Okay, did you see on the retired numbers? Did anyone tell you why the big, crooked, 432 was on there? The regular number. They had the real big number that was retired. Do you know why that was?
No.
When they opened the stadium in 94 in the strike shortened season, 95 was the debut of Jacobs Field. It sold out every single home game for the first 462 games of its existence. It was such a run that when it ended, they retired the number. So the next time you're up there, look at the retired numbers and you'll see a big old number. I think it's 462 and it says the fans above it. So that goes to show you the passion that Cleveland puts into their baseball. Because when we got that new stadium, it sold out. And I actually remember as a kid going to 3 or 4 of those games, and there was not a seat. You had to get your tickets through a friend that had a friend that killed another friend that was hired by you to track and figure out where that said friend went. And
Yeah.
So that was awesome, man. So I went up a few months ago, and it's probably the most attendance I've seen in a really, really long time. And Jose's brought a lot of the fans back out because he stayed. We have a superstar, that's very pro Cleveland, and everybody loves Jose. So that's it. Hey,
your version.
I do got a question. I just don't know if I should ask it.
Uh-oh. We have to now.
What was Daniel's dream team growing up to play for? I gotta know. There's no way it was the Padres. Let's be real.
No. His favorite Padre was Tony Gwynn. Tony Gwynn is our version of Jose Ramirez. We love. He's like family. It felt like family. But Daniel's favorite player, he didn't get this number all the time, but his favorite player was number 2, the captain, Derek Jeter. As a shortstop. So he was a kid of the '90s and in the early 2000s.
I get it.
So,
yeah, you can't hate on Derek Jeter.
Gotta say the Yankees.
You can
Yeah,
though.
if that would
You
probably have been
can.
the drainage.
It's a respectful hate because you just hate the Yankees. You don't
Yeah.
hate Derek Jeter. Which
Well,
and
no,
for the
both.
record,
It's
the H
both.
word's hard, but
Yeah.
I hate the Yankees. I hate.
Hey, the
The Yankees.
The Yankees and the
Yeah, well,
Dodgers
I-
just.
Yeah, we
Oh.
hate the Dodgers.
Yeah.
We hate.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Hey,
Yes.
Shohei. Hey, throw 5 on the black table. On the black
Hey,
at the roulette
California
table,
doesn't matter.
Shohei.
It doesn't matter if you're Angels, A's, Padres. You hate the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
You know,
like.
you know who loves the Dodgers? You know who loves the Dodgers? Scott Bybee, Tanner Bybee's dad. He is a crack up, man. He is.
Oh.
You guys got to have him on your show. He is so funny. He's like super witty and funny. He's a baseball guy. He'd fit in on this show. I bet I can get him on for you.
All right, yeah, get us Scott. We'll, we want to.
He's a
Hey,
crack up.
I
He's a
need.
Dodger fan.
Yeah, we need personality on here. So we need.
Yeah, he's a good one. He's a good one.
He's
Yeah.
great. I love the Red Sox, and so Daniel and he would root for the Yankees, and I would root for the Red Sox. And when they play each other, we'd always have a little bit of banter, about who was gonna win and who was better. So
Yeah,
The
but
Red Sox.
yeah.
Hey, who won between the Red Sox fans and the Yankees fans?
The fan.
Neither of them. Both losers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But
Boom.
Sorry, Hadley. You still win. But yeah.
I think that breaking
the curse of
the curse.
Yeah, the
That to me, it's such a great story. And that year, and
04.
in 04.
Well, that was
That's right.
awesome because it was
Yeah.
against the Yankees.
Yeah,
Yes.
I haven't
Yes.
been like a lifelong Red Sox fan. I came into it through that.
Yeah.
Just the heart of that team. I don't know. It's a great underdog story, and
You're
that's
right.
kind of what made me like them.
She saw fever pitch. And so she got all
Jimmy-
excited
hey.
about Drew Barrymore.
Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore made a lovely couple in that movie.
Yes,
Lovely
yes, they
couple.
did.
You know what? Actually, I haven't watched that movie in a long time, and that was just a good movie. You got a little romance, you got a little sport, you got a good storyline. Yeah.
I got another question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Do the Guardians play the Padres?
They did last weekend. That's why they were out in
Yeah.
Cleveland.
That's why we went out. Yeah.
What was it like cheering against your son? And how did he feel about that?
That was so the game 1 on Friday night. It was 0-0, I think, in the 6th inning. Daniel came up with 2 outs,
You're taking the 6.
runner on 3rd. All of San Diego watched, and he doubles. So that was a
He
huge.
failed his city. He failed.
No, he didn't.
Can you? Here's the blue and the car. Still good.
No,
Uh,
we lost the audio quality. You might have to flip back.
Okay, here go.
Sorry.
Take it
Okay,
off.
hold on.
Is that better? Is that better?
Yes,
Much
we're back.
better.
We're back. Sorry, there was like a
We're back.
really wild echo that wasn't going to work.
Really wild echo that wasn't going to work.
besides that
Okay.
one.
There we
Now we
go.
have another one.
This should be better. This should be better now.
Yes,
Yeah,
there we go.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So,
double, man. We were live on the show when it happened, and we were like,
Yep.
their parents are coming on next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was really weird, to be honest with you, was seeing, because the Padres, the colors, that golden brown, it's just like it's in my DNA. And to see them on the field and then see Daniel on there on the same field with them, right next to Machado. Tatis wasn't there, but Daniel's a fan of the game. He's been a fan of the game even as a player. He watches the playoffs he's a real big fan of the game.
Yeah.
So he's a big Jake Cronenworth fan. Daniel really likes Cronenworth. Kind of
Yeah,
modeled his game a little bit after.
I got Cronenworth too.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
Jake fan. So, and I was going to say this about the people of Cleveland. One thing, there's a toughness to Cleveland. There's a toughness,
yeah.
but they got good hearts. But
Yeah.
But they're tough. Like, you know what really impresses me? You know, we lost the Chargers and we lost the name too. So if a team ever comes back to San Diego, we have to name them something else. You know, you know, when Cleveland lost the Browns, I'm not trying to lift you around. You know, they're so tough. Think about how tough a city must be. They lose their football team, but the owner says, no, you can keep the name. You can keep the name. Think about that for a second.
He knew he already knew he messed up.
Yeah, so Cleveland keeps the name the Browns. I wish San Diego could have kept the name the Chargers, you know, just so if we ever do, because that's a good football. It's hard, you know, it's a great football town too.
It sucks seeing him in LA.
I know, I don't like it.
It's so bad.
No, even the people in LA don't like him in LA.
I've just never had another diehard Chargers fans on to complain about this stuff.
It's a big night for Johnsy.
Yeah.
Californian couple, and
I was at the Holy Roller game. When I'm not kidding. I was 10 years old. It was 1976. Casper fades back. You know, Louis Kelser's pressuring him. He rolls it. Stabler fades back. Casper kicks it. You know, he rolls it on the ground. They kick and roll it. The Holy Roller game, fumble it. And, you know, I was at the game watching it. I mean, it was 78. It was 78, I think. But that was a tragedy in San Diego. I've been a Charger fan my whole life, you know, all through the Fouts years and everything. But I did root for him for a couple years. But I can't. I'm back.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened to me.
Oh, if it would have been the Baltimore Browns, it would have been like, yeah, they're still our colors. They're still our colors. When they were like the Baltimore Ravens, I was like, oh, you're so dead to me. Like, I hope you lose every game for the rest of eternity. Yeah,
I don't think we couldn't even watch a game for a couple of years, and then we, you know, kind of slowly we're like, well, I mean, it's kind of our team. So
what stinks is, like, I was at that critical age where I just started to be old enough to understand how football worked and watched it. And then I lost my team for 3 years. It was so terrible. So from my 11 to 14, I had like no meaningful football in my life whatsoever. Like we were raised to be Buckeyes fans. But this is the Brownstown. Like, you know, I'm an hour and a half south. Like, I'm an hour and a half from Columbus, but my dad didn't raise no Buckeye fan. We cheered for him on Saturday to keep us warmed up for Sunday. Our emotions for the next 6 days weren't based on Saturday; they were based on Sunday.
Yeah. So, you know, in San Diego, the best part of the Chargers season was when we played the Chargers Raider games. You would see fights in the state. I mean, massive fights. They would just go on forever and ever. You know, we Raiders fans are just crazy. Yeah. But Chargers fans are.
He's like,
we may wear powder blue a little bit, but man, Charger fans can be pretty mean too. Straight, yeah. So
we're no sissies. We're no sissies.
Yeah. We got it. Okay, she's directing me to where our case is, but I admire that about Cleveland in particular. The way you guys were able to hang on to the name. That's just an awesome thing. I wish the Chargers did, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to let you guys get back to it here. Okay. We're going to wrap up our show.
All right.
We got to do this again. You know, we got to stay in touch. When you're in Cleveland, let me know, man. Maybe, and ma'am, sorry, it's just a general thing.
You're all right.
But I'd love to cook for you guys sometime. We'll throw down. It may be steaks, but I think we need to introduce you guys to the Cleveland brat game. You guys need to. You guys need to.
Oh yeah.
We got Little Poland up there. We got the brats. We got the knockwurst. We got
Cleveland
all the
sausages.
The kielbasa. We got pierogies. We're going to culture you guys up to some Cleveland cuisine. I got you. Let me know when next time you guys are coming in town.
Okay. We would love that. That would be so fun.
We'll be there for the ALCS. ALCS, okay, baby? We'll be there.
I'm going to be the guy throwing out the first pitch. I'll see you out there.
All right.
Oh,
Thanks for
here
having
we go.
us.
Here we go.
Thank you guys so much.
A man can dream. A man can dream.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. We had the Schnee.
Go Guards.
Go Guards.
Roll
Catch
Tribe.
That.
Roll
Catch
Tribe.
That perp. Catch that perp.
Catch that perp. Catch that perp. Love it.
That was awesome. Oh man, what a freaking show tonight! Unbelievable, just
Unreal.
top to bottom. We even got a text from Coach Fankhauser. Is like, appreciate the vibe. Anytime you want us back on, we had a good one here tonight. Last time for the giveaway tonight for the hashtag. What is it, Johnsy? Go Walsh.
Walsh, baby.
Hashtag Go Walsh. So, and also giveaway. If everybody's still tuned in, don't forget every $10 you spend on our partners, and we have the graphic up here somewhere.
Yeah, we do need to get the frick rid of that music, though.
No, that music's not the problem. It was I told you, it's the music from the intro you put on for Sundays. That is only on the Sunday show that it was doing that.
It's not that same one?
No, I tried to tell her. I'm sorry.
Man. Yeah, my bad.
There's a miscommunication. I thought I was like, no, that's the one. That one's fine. It's not Flagging Friday. It's Flagging Sunday. And the only thing that changed was the intro with the commercial free.
Yeah, okay. All right,
yeah.
Well, I'll deal with it.
Hey, and we move. It's fine. This is what happens. This ain't perfect.
No.
This ain't perfect. It was tonight.
Bro, great show, sir. Great show.
Hey, that one came together beautifully. A little stressed. We had to postpone our buddy Redneck Roach to August 9th, but we're excited to have him next Friday.
I had a couple brain farts where I couldn't think of a question, so I apologize.
Oh, dude, I had one there too, and it was the fan. I was like, God, and I couldn't get the retired fan number out of my head. But yeah, I put you on the spot with Coach Fankhauser, and he was like,
"He's like, what do you got?
Anything at all?
He's like,
please say something.
That's my damn middle name or something."
No, that was awesome. Next Friday we have Tina Cannon. New seasoning's out. We haven't had her on in a while, and we just had the season 3 of Netflix American Barbecue Showdown. She was the season 1 champion. So anytime we have a new season, we'd like to bring her on, ask her about what she's up to. She is the original dudette of the Dude Network.
100%, right? 100%.
So yeah, we're excited to get her take on last season of Netflix, season 3.
I haven't even watched it.
What do you guys? It was pretty good. It was weird that I was like, one of the finalists. So watching that, I was like,
I still forget about that.
I do too, honestly. Until it came out, I was like, "Oh shit!" I was
like, I don't mean to be rude, sir. I apologize for that. But
yeah, that was
still crazy to me.
I think I know who I lost to though, because there was like another home cook, and he got voted out week 2, but he put up a good performance. He was really respectful. Put up a good showing. It was really weird looking at that. It's like, what would I have cooked in this situation? And I realized I was like, I would not have been ready for this show. I would have
see that's my whole take on it. Like, people always ask me why. Like, when I was in a band, they're like, "Why don't you try out for American Idol?" Like, I don't sing like that.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you try out for a cooking show, dude? I see all your look, bro. If I walked into a kitchen with ingredients I've never even heard of, and they're like, "Oh, make this dish I've never heard of. Oh, but also do it with these utensils I've never used."
They would be like, "Make your go-to side dish." I'd be like, zucchini, yellow squash, onion, cherry tomatoes, Italian seasoning, butter. Here you go. And then, in a cast iron. Like, I mean, that's literally like my go-to side dish.
Dude, if you pluck socks off, if you just plucked like the most random basic home cooks out of the mix, and I was in that group, I would probably do really well because I'd show off a little bit, this, that. But you're talking, I mean, look, I know a lot of, whatever. It's not my territory.
You got
my territory.
Saturday night stuff. We got Tina Cannon on next Friday. We got another foodie show Sunday at 9:00. The after party tomorrow night, 9:00, which we're recording after this. And we got a lot to go over after tonight's show. Johnsy, what's going on Sunday before we wrap this up here tonight? And again, hashtag love Walt. We love Walsh.
No, go Walsh.
Go Walsh. Hashtag
Go
go Walsh.
Walsh.
Sorry. Hashtag go Walsh.
So that one special guest is for the 4th, right? The 4th of
Yes.
August?
Yes.
So
You know
I
what I mean?
believe I'm going to take it because I talked to Damon about stuff, and I think we're going to take a trip. We hit the books. We hit the books last Sunday. We hit the books.
Yeah, I was really bummed you guys didn't finish that.
Yeah,
I wanted the whole show to be about the books.
I'm sorry. Well,
That's all right.
Hey, we'll circle back.
I know that's feedback. Keep it going.
Yeah.
There's plenty there. Show.
But I think
hey,
we're
gonna get a wrap up. We're almost going on 2 hours here. We got to get out.
Right.
of here.
We're gonna take a trip, and it's gonna be kind of a 2-part thing, and more shall be revealed.
I didn't mean to cut off your plug there.
No. That was it. That was it. You got to stick around to find out.
Stick around.
Another foodie show is an ever-evolving entity at this point. So just hang on. Hang on
to your shorts. I'm about hanging on to my bladder here. I'm gonna hop off here.
Same.
So, all right, everybody, be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9:00, tape delay, and live Friday night at 9:00 as well. And next Thursday, 10:00, we are back with football on the late night parlay. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you next time, and drink garage beer. Let's go.